What's up guys, I'm Kamal and today I'm going to bring you another Path of Exile on the PlayStation 4 tips video. This one's going to give you a rough idea on what you should be looking out for and what to pick up while you're running around, leveling up, magic finding, everything like that. So the first thing is going to be skill gems and currency items. Now, if you've been playing this game, you've probably realized there's no gold or money basis in the game. It's all based on orbs, which are considered the currency item of the game. All of those you're going to want to pick up. The scrolls, you can even collect enough scrolls to turn it into a chaos orb or higher. You just have to have enough and then go through the whole trading process at the vendor. So, every single piece of crafting material, pick it up. It's all useful. When it comes to skill gems, it kind of depends. You'll get to a point in the game where you can purchase most skill gems without an issue. Hey, that's the second one of those that I've gotten. You can purchase most skill gems without any issue. Once you reach Act 6 in the game, there's a vendor that just has 6 or 7 different pages of skill gems. Before we go any further though, if you come across a box like this, any one of these boxes, you can actually use an item on it to tell what it's going to open up as, or what the unique traits are. So this one has 1,528% chance of rarity, and then guarded by a pack of magic monsters, guarded by a road exile, and explodes. So, as with normal, we lay down our caustic arrow, and then we open it up and run. So, all skill gems you pick up, even though, I pick them all up just because, well, it's easier to pick one up and have it in your bank than to have to buy one, quite frankly. And also, quality. If it's a quality gem, or if it's a corrupted gem, pick it up no matter what. This is actually perfect right here. This is how you get the corrupted gems. You can either hit it with a Vaal orb, which is a currency-based item that you'll see occasionally, or you find one of these little sinkholes, or it'll be displayed by a red marker on your map. You go inside, you beat it, you beat the boss at the end, you'll get a corrupted orb and some pretty decent gear sometimes. So aside from all the currency-based items and all the skill gems that you're going to want to pick up, the next thing you're going to want to start looking at is going to be the gear. Now, the gear is a little bit more nuanced than the rest of the stuff. Like, it's not on the same level of, well, just grab everything, because it really comes down to what your end goal is. Now, if your end goal is to have a stockpile of items to sell just to make more currency, I would suggest anything 6-socketed, pick it up. If it's 6-socketed and not linked, sell it to a vendor. You'll get 7 jeweler's orbs for it. And if it is 6-socketed and linked, sell it to a player and you will get an exorbitant amount of money for it. So yeah, remember that. 6 sockets, good. 6 sockets linked, even better. So right here, Sacrifice at Dawn, which is great. This is something that you can use later on. We'll go over that at a later date. And then Vaal Grace. This is a Vaal gem. This is another one of those gems that I was talking about. It's corrupted, which means it's got some additional stuff to it, but you can also only use it occasionally. Now, back to the gear. Once again, 6-socketed, not linked, sell to a vendor, 7 jeweler's orbs. 6-socketed linked, sell to a player, get good stuff. Aside from that, 5-socketed linked is going to be the next best thing that you can get. That's going to be a little bit more common, obviously not sell for quite as much, and then when you are picking up gear, you're going to want to look at the armor type that it is. So when you're looking at these, what's going to be more beneficial is going to be a singular item type, at least from almost all of the builds that I've looked at. This one right here that does armor and evasion, those are both decent stats. That one that does armor and evasion, that's okay as well. Now, all of these have dual. If one of them had just flat out evasion, it would have almost 200 evasion rating flat, then I would pick it up and see. Since it has dual, I'm not really too worried about it. Let's see, what else? Now, the 5 sockets that can only show up, or 5 or 6 sockets can only show up on 2-handed weapons, bows, and armor, like chest pieces. Your gloves, your boots, and your helmet can be 4-socketed and linked. If it's 4 sockets and it's linked, pick it up, see what it is. If it's a high item level, and how you tell item level on an item is by holding L3 while the item's highlighted. You can see this one is item level 45, the boot blade on the ground. Anything above item level 60 is going to be substantially better for the most part. Now, what I mean by substantially better is it can be when you roll it. Everything in this game is based on a dice roll. It's all chance. You can have, 2 pieces of gear, you roll them, each one 1,000,000 times, and you never see the same stats on the 2. It's possible. It's crazy the amount of different possibilities it is, but I can give you an idea of the certain ones you're going to want to look out for. Regardless of the sockets and things like that, you want to look for certain suffixes and prefixes. The suffixes and prefixes that you're going to want to look for is going to be maximum life. So like this right here. This is an amazing belt. It gives me a total of 35 maximum life just because of the kind of belt that it is. I get 62 life for the suffix, or the prefix rather, 25 fire res, 16 lightning res. Those are the 2 suffixes. There's obviously multiple prefix, multiple stuff. This one right here, this is also really fucking good. It gives me armor, a lot of it, which isn't too beneficial on this character, but it doesn't matter because I needed the 3 red sockets for my build. Aside from that though, I've got dual res, even though the fire is pretty low, it's not that big of a deal, and a very substantial amount of life, 104 maximum life. This right here, it's got decent life, it's low level, but it's got the sockets that you're looking for. So when I say that when you're picking up gear, it all depends, it really does all depend. One thing that you're going to want to make sure of on your build is your resistances are up. Either your evasion, your armor, or your energy shield is enough to prevent you from dying. If you see, I have 63% chance to evade attacks, 40% chance to dodge attacks, 30% chance to dodge spells. I'm fairly avoidable. Or, well, everything else is fairly avoidable. I'm the one that does the avoiding. So make sure you get that up when looking for stuff for yourself. And this is kind of just a little side tip as far as making sure your defenses are up. But I guess it kind of goes with looking for gear for yourself. When looking for gear for other people, same thing goes. Life, 2 or 3 different added resistances that are pretty decently high in the resistances. And then there's certain things that are called vendor recipes. These vendor recipes are pretty cool, and it's the last thing I'm going to go over in this video. To get to the vendor recipe list that's actually in here, you press the options button, go down to help panel, and then you just scroll right down to the one that says vendor recipes. This will give you a rundown of the different recipes or different things you can trade to a vendor in a specific manner to get a specific item back. If you trade an item with 1 socket of each color linked, you will get a chromatic orb. Like I was talking about earlier, if you trade a 6-socketed item, you will get 7 jeweler's orbs. And this is the one that's probably the coolest. I wouldn't worry about it until you get above item level 60. Below item level 60, you can trade in 1 piece of yellow or rare gear from each item slot together. So 1 full set of gear, and you'll get an orb of chance. If it's above item level 60, every single piece is above item level 60, you will get 1 chaos orb instead. There's a way to get more chaos orbs than just that one from this vendor recipe. One of the ways is to leave all of the items unidentified. You'll receive 2 chaos orbs if you do that. You can also make sure that each of these items are at least, or not at least, 20% quality, and then you will also get 2 of the chaos orbs from it. Now, if you make sure they're all above level 60, they're all unidentified, and they're all 20% quality, then you'll receive 3 chaos orbs. I'm going to tell you right now, Just take the one. Just take the one chaos. Identify them, because who knows what you could get. What if the piece that you trade in for one chaos orb, that one pair of boots that you traded in and left unidentified so you could get two, turned out being a pair of boots that you could trade for an exalted orb plus? Well, you just shot yourself in the foot because you wanted to get one more chaos orb. So my suggestion, identify everything. If you're going to be doing this above level 60, almost every single yellow piece is worth picking up. When you're leveling through lower levels, I wouldn't even worry about looking for gear for anything but yourself or for builds that you're working on. That's really all I have as far as what to pick up and what to ignore. I guess the one other little nugget, if you didn't see in my previous video, is going into your options and adjusting your loot filter. The loot filter will show you different levels of items on the screen. I set mine to semi-strict. I like seeing all currency-based items and most pieces of gear, just so I can decide if I want it or not. So I want to thank you guys for checking out this video. If you found it useful, if you do want to see some more Path of Exile videos from me, please click like, click subscribe, let us know down in the comment sections. We do have a PS4 Path of Exile community that I've started. It's called Exiles United. That's all you have to look for in the communities, I guess community manager area of the PlayStation Network. And join. Membership's open. I'll see y'all in the next video. I'm outie.